Live NFL trivia every Tuesday night on Twitch at 9 p.m. Eastern. Come show off your football knowledge and have a chance to win cash prizes. Check the link in the description to find out more. And now, on with our feature presentation. Ever since I started this Dumb Decision series, one of the most popular requests is this play right here. You know which one I'm talking about. The time the Browns, for some inexplicable reason, called a draw play on 4th and 9. And don't worry, we're going to eventually get to that play, because I can say without a shred of recency bias that what Freddie Kitchens did there was one of the worst 4th down calls I've ever seen. But as bad as that call was, and trust me, it was bad, at least it was a draw. At least you had Baker Mayfield lined up in the shotgun and 3 receivers out wide. Was the play going to work? Absolutely not, but at least there was a chance in some crazy hypothetical universe that it might have. Because as it turns out, you can do worse than what Freddie Kitchens did on that day. In fact, Freddie Kitchens looks like an offensive mastermind compared to what you're about to witness. Because in a 1983 Monday Night Football game, this happened.
Back at him for having his leg pulled. I guess you're right. 4th down.
Hang on, let's back up just a second before talking about the play in question. It's September 26, 1983. We're at Giants Stadium for this nationally televised game between the Green Bay Packers and the New York Giants. These are two teams that seem to be trending in opposite directions. Green Bay went 5-3 and won the previous year and made it to the second round of the postseason under head coach Bart Starr, and seemed to be picking up right where they left off in 1983, starting off 2-1. As for the Giants, Bill Parcells is the man in charge, and this is definitely going to be a rebuilding process, as they're 1-2 through 3 games with the 3rd worst offense in all of football. Jan Stenerud got the scoring started with a 20-yard field goal in the first quarter. Why the Packers didn't go for it since it was 4th and an inch, I'm not sure. But keep that in the back of your mind for later in our story. Things were looking good for Green Bay after 1, as they led it 3-0. It was all downhill from there. On the first play of the second quarter, Rob Carpenter ran it right through Green Bay's defense for a 14-yard touchdown to give the Giants the lead. Green Bay tried to score a touchdown, but failed on this 4th down play that, even though it didn't work, and even though I would have just tried and gone over the top, I will admit that this was a pretty creative play. And if Gary Lewis actually tried turning the corner instead of lowering his shoulder and trying to truck his way into the end zone, I think it would have worked. But the Giants take a 10-3 lead into the halftime break after Ali Ajishik drills a club record 56-yard field goal. Things spiraled out of control for Green Bay in the 3rd quarter. On their opening drive, they tried getting fancy with reverse play. Only problem was that Eddie Lee Ivory couldn't hold on to the ball. Eddie Lee and Ivory were not living together in harmony on this one. Touchdown Giants on the fumble return to make it 17-3. Lynn Diggy fumbled the snap on the ensuing drive and the Giants recovered, getting a field goal a few plays later on to make it a 20-3 game. And later in the 3rd quarter, after 2 drives ending in Green Bay turnovers and 1 drive ending in a 3-and-out, Scott Brunner hit Ernest Gray for a 27-yard touchdown to make it a 27-3 game. Things are looking dire for Green Bay, but they're able to start the 4th quarter off all right, as they're in Giant territory after a few chunk plays. 1st down, and Dickey gets sacked. 2nd down, and rookie Jesse Clark is able to get some of that back. 3rd down, and the pass falls incomplete to James Lofton, but it wouldn't have counted if it was a catch, thanks to some pretty blatant offensive pass interference on Lofton's part. That brings a 4th down. This is pretty much the game here. Let's see what the Packers have lined up.
4th down. 9, and the Packers will go.
James can't take
Not far, but they'll go. Huckabee is nailed at the 42-yard line. And what you're seeing really is the total frustration of Bart Starr, I do believe.
I've seen it all but that. Well, they were trying to trick them. It was a surprise play. See Bart saying, now look, wait a minute, what is this? Boy, Bart is upset. Can't say I blame him.
Welcome to Dumb Decisions. Before I break down what happened here, this whole series is about taking an in-depth look at decisions made during games that were clearly awful from the start. This isn't something that looked bad in hindsight. Rather, this is something that looked awful almost immediately. These are moves where your gut instinct tells you right away that there is no way this can possibly work. And sure enough, your gut instinct was smarter than that of an NFL head coach. And for this one, we're taking a look at the mind of Bart Starr. Obviously, as a player, Starr is one of the best to ever do it. There's no denying that. When you think of Vince Lombardi's Packers of the 1960s, Starr is probably the first name to come to mind. I'm not sure too many people have anything bad to say about his playing career, as he might have been the best quarterback in the 1960s. But his coaching career? Yeah, not so much. In his 9 years as the head coach of the Packers, they made the postseason just once, going 52-76-3. And this might have been the worst moment of that stretch. So with that being said, let's take a look at why calling a run up the middle on 4th and 9 down by 24 points is a really bad idea. Of course, common sense dictates that you shouldn't do this. But I took a look at every single run that the Packers had in this game to see if there was any chance that this first down could be converted. Running on 4th and 9 is stupid, but it's a bit less stupid if you got a running back playing like Fred Taylor and Maurice Jones-Drew against the Colts, where every time they touched the ball, it was going for a huge gain. Prior to this run, the Packers had 19 rushing attempts. On those 19 runs, they had picked up 47 yards. They had averaged under 2.5 yards per carry. Again, they needed 9 yards here. Of those 19 runs, only one of them went for 9 yards. Literally the very next run they had after that, it went for a loss of 10, which should sum up just how poorly Green Bay played on the ground. And of those 19 runs, the Packers picked up a first down just once. Want to see it? I'm not even sure if this should count. It's literally a quarterback sneak. Prior to this play, when they actually handed the ball off, not once did the Packers pick up a first down. That raises the question, why did you think this would work? Literally not a single percentage is playing in your favor. To make matters even worse, they gave the ball to Harlan Huckleby. He wasn't even the guy that had the only 9-yard carry of the game. Huckleby entered this game averaging 2.9 yards per carry for his entire career. His longest run of the 1982 season went for a grand total of 7 yards. Again, just in case I'm not making myself crystal clear here, you needed 9 yards. Say what you want about what Freddie Kitchens did. And again, just to reiterate, that was an absolutely dumb decision that we will eventually get to. But at least Nick Chubb is a great halfback who can play. It's not like the Browns called that play while giving the ball to Dontrell Hilliard. The Packers tried a low percentage play and gave it to a guy who is not good in the slightest bit. Also, keep in mind that they didn't go for a 4th and an inch earlier in the game because they didn't trust their running game. So why would you run the ball on 4th and 9? And it's not like the Packers had a bad quarterback who couldn't get the job done. Lynn Dickey can play. Heck, he would go on to lead the league in passing yards during that 1983 season. You have John Jefferson, a 4-time Pro Bowl wide receiver who led the league in receiving touchdowns twice. You could have thrown to him. You had Hall of Famer James Lofton to throw to. In other words, I trust the passing game way more to pick up 9 yards than I do the running game. And just to make things clear, there were still 12 minutes left in the game. Was Green Bay going to win this one? Probably not, as 24 points is a pretty big deficit. But it's not like they called this with 30 seconds left when the game was completely over and they just wanted to get out of there. This one was not over. Case in point, Bart Starr should know about that because 2 years prior, his Packers allowed 31 points in the fourth quarter to the Atlanta Falcons and blew that game. That seemed like an insurmountable comeback, but Starr saw firsthand that it's not over till it's over. You can learn more about that game by clicking the card in the upper right corner. And on the flip side, the year before in 1982, Starr's Packers were down by 23 points in the second half against the Los Angeles Rams, and they came back to win the game. So if Starr truly threw in the towel with plenty of time left, then Vince Lombardi would be rolling over in his grave, knowing that his once glorified starting quarterback just quit. I legitimately don't know how else to describe that, because again, based on the stats, the flow of the game, and common sense, no coach with a brain would legitimately think that this would work, especially since the Giants had guys in the box. How bad was this call? Well, back in 1983, fans of the NFL overseas could subscribe to a service allowing them to receive videotapes of the Monday Night Football games. These videotapes also offered behind-the-scenes footage of the announcers, since the tapes are taken from the network's trucks. That means you can hear what the announcers are saying in between commercial breaks. And apparently, after this call was made, Frank Gifford could not contain himself, laughing hysterically while saying, "Do you believe that call?" When the announcers are audibly laughing at how bad your call is, that's when you know you screwed up somewhere along the line. So what did we learn from all this? Running the ball on 4th and 9 is stupid. Giving the ball to a running back whose career best from the previous season was 7 yards when you need 9 is stupid. Giving up early in the fourth quarter, especially when you have come back and been on the other end of such comebacks before, is stupid. Not throwing the ball down by 24 on 4th down, especially when you have a really solid quarterback, is stupid. Running the ball when the opposition has stopped you on the ground for the entire game is stupid. And in case I need to hammer the point to anyone who hasn't quite gotten it yet, running the ball on 4th and 9 is stupid. Because when all of these elements are in play, you can't exactly be surprised when this play backfires. Talk about a dumb decision. Be sure to like this video, ring the notification bell, subscribe down below if you haven't already, as it helps the channel out a lot. And be sure to check out Twitch every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern for your chance to play NFL trivia and win cash prizes. Link in the description below. If you want to see videos like this condensed down to 60 seconds, then follow me on TikTok at JaredGator9 and subscribe to 60-Second NFL History on YouTube. Also, special thanks to all of our Patreon supporters who help with the channel. Your support is greatly appreciated. See how you can become a patron and request future video topics in the description below.